Real Jersey Country to do K98.5. Captain Jack, it's the afternoon ride. Good afternoon. Well, I promised it over the last week, and now we have him in the studio, and we're probably going to have a problem letting him go because he's a lot of fun. He's a great guy, and I don't know, he's in so many aspects of country music. I got to tell you, when do you have time for yourself? John Rich, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you for having me. It's good to be up here. I think this is my first official visit.
To New Jersey?
No, I've been to New Jersey.
No, you've been to New Jersey.
But I haven't been in this exact room on this exact show.
Right.
So thanks for inviting me.
Oh, it's my pleasure and my honor, man. I'm so glad. I could talk to you for like 15 hours about all the things you got going on. And like I said before, you've been involved in so many aspects of country music. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, and let's go personal here for a real quick second.
Why not?
Because I heard about that house that you're building in Nashville. That is going to be, I don't know, classified as a skyscraper when it's all done?
Well, it's 90 feet tall.
What made you want to do that?
Well, I decided to build a smaller house than what I originally planned, so I put it at 90.
Uh-huh.
No, it's right in the middle of my favorite town. I'm a Texan originally.
Right.
And I've been touring. I just turned 35 January 7th. And I took off on the road when I was 18 right out of high school. So I've been touring for 17 years. I've been to every town in the United States multiple times, and Nashville still is by far my favorite town.
I love Nashville.
Where I'd want to live. And of course, you know, country music's given me everything great I've ever had. Has come from the country fans and radio stations playing your music. So when it came time to build my first house, I thought, well, where do I want to build this thing? I want to build it right in the middle of Nashville. So I found this little hill that looks right at downtown, and I built a pretty tall house. It's 90 feet high, and there's a swimming pool on the roof looking at downtown. So you'll have to come in, next time you're in town, you got to come over and have a drink.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. You know, what's funny about it, I was thinking that house that tall, I hope you're not near any airports where you're going to have to put one of those beacon lights on the top of the roof.
No, but you can land a chopper on my house, so that's...
Really?
Yeah.
So you thought of everything, man.
Yeah, it's set up.
Oh, that's great, man. So, another season of Gone Country 3, and I am not a reality show fan at all. I hate them all.
I hate them all, too.
But yours,
except mine.
I'm addicted
I like
to.
mine a lot.
I'm addicted to yours.
It's pretty good, you know. Gone Country was an idea that came along a couple years ago, and I'm friends with all different kinds of artists from all different genres. I mean, urban, rock, pop, you name it. And CMT kind of knew that about me and said, "Man, we got this crazy idea for a show. If singers and people from other walks of life that love country music want to come to Nashville and try their hand at writing a country song and seeing if they can come up with something that would connect with the country audience, and you're the guy, you're like their instructor, their boot camp, you know, their sergeant." And that sounds fun. I said, "Sounds fun. It'll either be great or people are going to make fun of me for the rest of my career for doing a show like this." And I said, "What the hell, let's try it." So we did the first Gone Country, and it was the #1 highest rated show in the history of CMT. So then we did Gone Country 2, and it was a big show again, and now we got Gone Country 3 that debuts 8 o'clock CMT this Saturday night.
And I will be there. And I want to ask you, what was it like working with George Clinton? I mean, here's a guy that as far away from country as you can get.
Right. Well, he looks like he'd be the farthest thing away from country. You know, here's George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. You know, he's almost 70 years old, still touring 200 shows a year. Rainbow dreadlocks, you know. I mean, you know, he wrote "We Want the Funk."
Yeah.
But he's a big-time country music fan. He loves Johnny Cash and loves the lyrics of country music. And I told him, I said, "You know, George," I call him Uncle George. I said, "You know, Uncle George, the country boys and girls are some of the most partying people in the world, and we get down to your music in the country bars." He's like, "No way." I said, "Yeah." And at one point of the show, George is kind of a fan of the ladies, you know.
Yeah.
So George has got this good-looking girl kind of sequestered over here. I look over and I'm listening in, and he goes, "Hello, young lady, I'm George Clinton. Yank my doodle. It's a dandy." Welcome to Gone Country 3. That's what you're in for.
Yeah. We'll be back with more of John Rich here on K98.5. Real Jersey Country to do K98.5. It's Captain Jack in the afternoon ride. Proud and honored to have John Rich in the studio with me today. And I got to tell you, that's a great song. Another You. We've been playing it now for a couple of weeks here at K98.5.
Well, I appreciate you playing it. You know, people have asked me, they said, "Well, why in the world are you doing a record without Big Kenny?" what happened was in late 2007, Kenny and I sat down and he said, "Man, I'm wore out. I got to take a break." I said, "Well, how long do you want to take? Like a couple of weeks?" He goes, "No, more like a year." I went, "Well, that's a long time." He goes, I just got to sit down for some time and recuperate. And I said, "You got it." So we're currently booking a Big and Rich tour for summer 2009, about 40 cities. But by the time we go back on tour in June, from the end of 2007, you're looking at 18 to 20 months off that we've had in Big and Rich. So in the downtime, I went in the studio and recorded another record. And you just heard one of them, Another You. And when you hear this record, you'll say, "Yeah, I get why he recorded that." These are songs that would probably never be on a Big and Rich record. They just don't pertain to Big Kenny, and they don't fit that sound that we've got. Big and Rich is a real specific thing.
Right.
And I've got songs I've written about family members and how I grew up, and things that are important to me as a songwriter and as an artist that I wanted to say. And I put them on this album. And so far, the fans that have heard it seem to be really responding well.
When's the release date on the album?
It'll be in stores May 18th, which I know sounds a long ways off, but it's almost February now, you know. Another You's the first single, and then there's another song called The Man on there that I like a lot. And then there's a song actually I wrote 2 weeks ago. I thought the record was done. I'd put it to bed, and then this idea for a song hit me to write for working men and women of America. And in my opinion, how they're kind of being thrown to the wayside as we watch Washington, D.C. and New York City sling billions of dollars back and forth between each other. And I'm thinking, man, I grew up in a double-wide trailer in Amarillo, Texas. The word billions of dollars, that doesn't even compute with me.
That's true, yeah.
You know? And I think they don't live in reality in those two cities. Not like the people listening to this interview or you and I, how we grew up. So I wrote a song called Shutting Detroit Down.
Oh.
And I'm recording it actually in 3 days when I get back to Nashville, and it'll be on the album as well.
Well, I see you brought your guitar.
I did.
Maybe we can get something out of you?
Absolutely.
We would love for you to just
Let me
do something
pick it up.
live. All right, we'll be back with more John Rich here on K98.5.